Okay, I just got the last of the wood chips moved out here just a day or two ago. This is the last little bit of it that I have. I'm gonna have to order more. So unfortunately, I'm not gonna be able to cover up this area, but I have my next new addition here, which is an elderberry. It's a much more compact variety from what I've read online, and I'm thinking about putting it right here, right where you can kind of see this little dead spot right here. And I wanted to be able to cover up a little bit more of this area with wood chips, but like I said, I run out, so I'm just gonna have to wait until I get some more. So I'm gonna start working on chopping up this area here with my shovel, trusty dusty shovel, and then I'll hopefully see if I can get this in a few better parts for you guys, just so you can see how everything's going. Hey, get rid of this weed. These things are terrible, and I don't want them here. So I'm gonna go do that real quick. Okay, got my hole. I got all the grass. So what I did was I took out the first big chunk of grass. I've actually got a little bit more here, actually, where you can see it's all this fibrous rooted topsoil with the grass on top. And I broke it all up off of that to put in here. And so there's a little bit of grass in here and a little bit of root stuff that I'm trying to get most of it out, but I want to keep as much of the soil in here so that when I backfill with all of that I pulled out, my hole here, once it's filled in, isn't going to be too low. I'm hoping that it'll be a little bit raised up so that when it settles down, it will be relatively flush. And then I grabbed a little bit of the mealworm frass to mix in to the stuff that's already down here so that I can help encourage the roots to dig down deeper once I get it in here. So I just put that in. I'll go put that back. Oh, that's just so, it smells terrible. It really does. And I'll finish filling this in. Okay, so I'm gonna see if I can tease this guy out here. Now, I do have some roots growing on the bottom here, which I am worried about. I want to try to get this out without damaging any of these roots here, because these could really set the tree back. So I'm going to set you guys down for just a second. Okay, and we're out. So I've got a lot of big roots here, and so what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to break these up a little bit, just because we don't want these guys spiraling in here. So it doesn't look like there's too much really going on for now, which is good. But we want to try to break them up a little bit just to kind of get them out of the habit of going around in circles. And so I'm trying not to break any of them off. I just want to kind of disrupt that circular cycle that they're kind of going through. These big ones, you don't really have much of a choice, but for a lot of these little ones you can, and that will hopefully, let's see what I can do here. Oh, there we go. That will hopefully give this guy a better head start as opposed to where it was before. Yep, those ones aren't going anywhere. I think I'm just gonna have to call that for now. Maybe a little bit more on the bottom here. Just kind of lightly scratch them. So here we go. There we are. And I'm just going to start backfilling with all this extra stuff here. Try to loosen up some of these chunks as I bring it in here. Okay, so now that we're all in, we can kind of give it a bit of a watering in. And there is one thing that I am worried about. You can kind of see where the water's going here. It's not all just going straight down. So I'm going to have to do this a couple times. Try to get as much of this dirt as I could I really should have put out like a tarp or something to catch most of it. The one thing left that I really need to do is I need to prune this, and it's already growing. It's a little too late in the year to prune it, but it really needs to be pruned. And I'm kind of upset now that I look at this and how it's been growing, that there really is no good option here, because we've got these two trunks here that have been rubbing up on each other. You can kind of see them right here, and just them there, they're rubbing up on each other. And I really want to keep the best one, which I believe is this one here. All it does is it comes up to here and it ends. I've got two good growths coming off the side of it here, and I'd really rather keep that one, prune it also just right up here above these two growths, and just let it go. But I'm also worried that that's like over 2/3, that's over half of the total top growth here that will be gone if I remove this other larger piece. So I'm gonna do some video, or I'm gonna do some research online to see if there's any recommendations on how to prune these. If it doesn't matter doing it at this age, like now that it's all already awake, then great. If there's generally no restrictions, if they say online that it doesn't matter how much you prune off, then I might just go for it and just take off this other guy. If not, then I might have to just do the one that I like. I might have to cut that one off just so that I can preserve the, you don't want the tree going into shock because you cut off 99% of it now that it's already awake. If it was dormant, this wouldn't matter. But since I got it so late in the season, this is kind of what I'm working with. So I'm going to do some research on that, figure that out. I do have one more plant that needs to get put in the ground that I'd love to do a video on, but I don't have the location or the equipment for it yet. It is a kiwi grape, and those need to be trellised, so I'm trying to get material to trellis it with and a location for it to go in. And of course, one's kind of dependent on the other, so I'm still trying to really cement the location down. It might be going back here next to this guy. That's kind of what it sounded like the plan might end up being. So we'll see how it goes, and you'll probably see that at some point in the future. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This is my elderberry tree, and I'm sure you'll see more of it in the future.